Oh, you feel that? Is it hot in here? Or is it just me? Oh, baby. Oh, I'm dripping. I'm soaking wet. Forget what you know about DFF episodes. Tonight, it's gonna get, sweaty. Take off your clothes. Crank those ACs. I'm proud to announce that Sweat is now available. Deep fat fried.
Sweaty. Why is it so sweaty, Paul? You've always been obsessed with sweat. Every time we look at a picture of someone that even has a little glisten of sweat, you're like, look how sweaty. Look at that sweat. It's like a fetish thing for you, or what's going on there? Why are you so fascinated by the sweat?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's funny.
He is one, dude. TJ. Now, I'm not going to rehash the same story, but like we have been to several events with Paul in the swampy ass fucking state of Louisiana, and Paul gets very sweaty.
That's true.
Very quickly.
Paul gets drenched.
I'm a sweaty guy. I'm not ashamed to admit it. This episode ain't about shaming the sweaty. Okay. It's about embracing and celebrating the sweat. Because I enjoy sweat. It makes me laugh.
Do you enjoy sweat on your balls, though? Like when your balls...
Well, no. I mean, sweat, like everything else, has an upside and a downside. You know what I mean? Pizza's delicious, but it'll clog your heart. You know what I mean? Sex feels great, but it's complicated, and you might get a venereal disease. You know what I mean? You're up and down, and
that is true.
And sweat is no different. But I enjoy sweat. You know what actually inspired me to do this episode today was I often go back and watch some of our really older episodes now that there's like 3 years worth of them. And I landed on that old one that we did, No Ideas. You guys remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
And I watched that shit and I was like, oh, you know, for being an episode about nothing, basically, it turned out pretty funny. And then, but at the end of it, I went on a fucking, like, I lost my shit looking at a picture of Kanye West because he was a little sweaty. And in fact, I think I pulled that picture as the next picture on the roster for us to take a look at. No, this is a different one. This is a different one, but he's very sweaty.
I mean, I'd say everyone in this is sweaty.
Yeah, it's true. Kim is the least sweaty.
Yeah, of course.
That other guy, he's more visibly sweaty because he's wearing a shirt that shows it off. But Kanye is King Sweat in this one. So,
I wish Kim was a little more sweaty, especially in like if her tits were a little sweaty. I don't know. That sweaty titty gleam is kind of a thing for me.
Well, you got to turn it sexual.
Every time, TJ.
I'm looking at big ass natural thing.
Every fucking time, dude, we see a picture. If it involves what many consider to be an attractive woman, what do you do, TJ? instantly go, look with the fucking
I see them fucking bazongas. I can't control myself. What am I supposed to do? You know?
Wedding, guys, right? Fellow male.
Disagree?
Make me sick. Yeah, you make me
disagree?
fucking sick.
Dude, Sweaty Kanye looks like he heard what you said about Kim's titties and he's not happy.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He's like, what'd you say, TJ?
It's like, excuse me? Excuse me, TJ?
Yeah?
I will
Well,
say this,
you
though,
know
TJ.
what?
She seems happy
What
with
are you doing,
She
TJ?
seems
You
to like
putting
the
on a
compliment.
sweater there?
Yeah, it's. I know we're doing an episode on sweat, but it's actually pretty cold in this room. So
It's true.
sorry.
Hey, you know what,
I mean,
though,
it is the
Paul?
winter.
Yeah,
You crank that heater up, put a couple layers on, you'll start to get nice and sweaty.
You know, I'm not really super prone to the schvet. I gotta be honest with you.
I have to beg.
You don't
to
ever
differ on that
schwitz?
one, dude.
I'm really not. I mean, I'm not saying I don't sweat.
not
I'm just saying
I'm not
I'm
saying
not-
you like.
I'm not a major perspirer like some people.
You don't
I'm
get
not,
sweaty?
No, I do. I mean, I'll get sweaty if it's hot, whatever. But
Not
I'm
compared
not
to you,
like,
Paul, dude.
yeah, I know so many people that are like Stevie. He says a little bit of heat, he's drenched in sweat. Paul, a little bit of heat, drenched in sweat. I mean,
True.
it takes a little bit more. It takes a little fucking more heat to get me there. And even then, it's like more on my face. Don't really get that fucking sweat. Sometimes at night, I'll get like fucking flop sweats, I guess, and fucking be all nasty. But
Get
TJ, we gotta
sweaty
get
at night.
Paul. We gotta get Paul for his next birthday an air conditioned shirt, dude. So it's
Dude, that
this
would be
summer. He
dope.
can
yeah,
Brrr. Paul's like, I ain't sweating this time. I'm good.
That'd be dope if they
Paul's
make
like,
them.
I ain't even
I
sweating
think they
it.
do.
Oh, they definitely
I
make
think
it. I've seen them.
Yeah.
I've seen
All right,
that shit.
All right, TJ. So when Paul's birthday rolls around, 50-50, man. Get him an air conditioned shirt.
3X. Remember, I'm a fat fuck.
7X.
So
10X.
before we get to the really fun stuff, I thought we'd cover the basics. Why do we sweat? What is sweat? And all of that stuff. Let's get it out of the way. Let's demystify it. Quit laughing so much at it, TJ. Quit being so puerile about it, okay? Everybody sweats.
Demystify. Yeah.
Everything's got to be a
You're sweating
joke with
to
you,
cool
TJ.
yourself. Yeah, you gotta. It helps you keep cool, Paul. That's why you sweat, buddy.
That's right. Everyone has sweat glands. They're all over your body. You might not realize it, but sweat alone has no odor. Surprisingly, if you taste your sweat, it's sweet. One drop of sweat is about 99% water. The remaining 1% of sweat is like urea, uric acid, ammonia, lactic acid, vitamin C, other substances.
Where's the
So-
sweetness come in? Where's the fucking sugar?
I'm guessing the urea.
Yeah, I don't like urea. It sounds too much like urine.
Well, that's because urine is named after urea. It's,
Is there piss and sweat?
I mean,
Gross.
there's urea in sweat, and there's urea
Sweat.
in urine.
So what I'm hearing is
Do
sweat
the
is
math,
piss.
TJ.
Sweat's a little pissy.
Sweat
Yeah.
is piss. Sweat is piss. I'm learning new things.
So, as Scotty said, sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself.
Yeah.
You make sweat in various situations. Maybe you work up a good sweat at the gym. Well, maybe if you're not TJ.
Yeah.
Or
That's
during
never
another
happened.
vigorous activity.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
maybe you
yeah.
find yourself sweating before a presentation or before
I never
school.
Do you have nervous sweat, Paul?
No, not
'Cause
really.
I never had that. I never had that either. I know some people that have that. But,
I have like heat-based sweats and exertion sweat,
yeah.
but I don't have like, oh, God, I'm nervous. But there are actually two different types of sweat for two different types of sweating, as we'll soon learn.
Here's another Kanye picture here.
Yeah, and he is, as you can see,
I can see that big fucking bead running down his face there.
yeah, and then look like down his neck, too.
Yeah.
He
Oof.
is sweaty.
Gross.
Very, very
sweaty.
sweaty.
Oh man. Whew.
Anyway.
And he's wearing a hoodie. He's wearing a hoodie too. So
I
you know,
know,
underneath
I mean-
here. Woo!
Oh, yeah, man. If he would have lifted up that arm, it'd be Sweat City
The
under
crowd-
there.
You lift this arm up, that half of the crowd fucking fans. Lift this one up, the other crowd, the other side just goes out. We can't take it.
So there's two different types of sweat. that's made by two different types of sweat glands during these different types of sweats that we've talked about. Your nervous, stress-based sweats and your exertion, it's hot outside kind of sweats. So common sweat, also known as what most of us sweat, is the light, watery sweat that happens when you're active on a summer day. This sweat cools as it evaporates off your skin, soaks your shirt when you exercise, etc. Okay?
Yeah.
Stress sweat, or as it's known in the scientific world, TJ sweat. This type of sweat feels thick.
I don't even have this sweat. Fuck you.
Feels thick and actually contains fat. It's produced during times of extreme stress and comes from the roots of body hair in your armpits, scalp, and groin area.
Yeah. Stressy groin sweat.
Yep. Now, I think everybody gets sweaty in their groin.
Nope. Not me.
What, your groin just stays completely dry all day, does it, TJ?
Bone
Oh,
dry.
dude, Paul. I don't know about you, but I know you're a very hygienic guy. At the end of the day, even if I'm taking a shower, man, I always have time to wash my balls.
You have to.
Always have time. You got to wash your nuts, man. Your nuts like, oh, man, you've been fucking marinating your own fucking sweaty ass juice all day.
Maybe you
damn.
guys do, but my balls don't sweat because I'm a stress-free motherfucker. And I've never even seen a drop of ball sweat in my life.
Whatever, TJ. Whatever.
Your balls are probably fucking soaked in sweat right now. Oh, God, I feel like I'm in a swamp
My
down here. Oh,
balls.
God.
Scotty,
What,
bone dry, Scotty. It's the
Bone
Sahara fucking desert down there. I could fucking sand something with them balls.
That sounds horrible, dude.
It is.
Are your balls chafed?
No, they're not chafed. They're just fucking rough
they're
and coarse.
They said they're bone dry.
Coarse like sandpaper,
I
Scotty.
think you got something wrong with your balls, dude. Go get some
I know.
moisturizer.
There's no moisture there.
Get some Vaseline or
They're
something.
that fucking dry. It's so fucking far in the other direction. It's an opposite problem.
So like a desert down there?
Yeah, it's like a desert.
There should be some like moisture down there.
No, there's none.
Shriveled, bone dry balls.
None.
What can I say? Let's talk a little sweaty geography, shall we?
Hey.
Where's the sweatiest place in the United States? Let's nail it down right now.
Hillary Clinton's asshole.
Now,
Man, you'd have.
this has actually ended up being a tale in global warming for me because I found two studies, one done in 2006 and one done in 2018, and the lists are pretty different. So let's go over, before you guys guess, because I'm going to have you guys try and guess some of these. Let's go over the top 10 sweatiest cities in America back in 2006.
Okay.
Number 10, Waco, Texas. Number 9, Houston, Texas.
Waco.
Yep. Houston, Texas, number 9. Number 8, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh,
Number
Taylor,
s-
there you go.
Number 7, Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Number 6, San Antonio, Texas. A lot of Texas here. Number 5, Corpus Christi, Texas.
Fuck, it's all Texas.
Number 4, Dallas, Texas. Number 3, Tucson, Arizona. Number 2, Las Vegas, Nevada. And the number 1 sweatiest city in America in 2006, Phoenix, Arizona.
The Schvetties.
Shit.
So knowing that, and knowing that we've been going through global warming, I found these numbers in the top 10 sweatiest cities in America for 2018. Now, I will give you guys the first 5, and then we're going to start trying to see if you guys can guess the top 5 of these, okay?
All right.
All right.
So number 10 is Memphis, Tennessee, new to the list. Number 9,
Memphis.
Atlanta, Georgia. Number 8, Austin, Texas. Moved down a place in the list. Number 7, Kansas City, Missouri. And number 6, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. What do you think is the 5th sweatiest city in America?
The fifth sweatiest.
Man, I feel like New Orleans has been robbed up from this list, dude. So I'm gonna go with New Orleans. We gotta. I mean, like, if we're not on this list is fucking rigged.
See, the thing about New Orleans and sweatiness is it's not necessarily the hottest fucking place, but like
it's muggy as fuck.
Yeah, it's so fucking humid that sweat does not evaporate off of people.
It's fun that you brought that up, and for clarification and to help you with these guesses, in preparation for the impending heat and inevitable perspiration, this year we looked at a variety of criteria to see which cities had the longest summer season, the fewest bodies of water, highest humidity, and highest temperature days in a row, which all contribute to the city's quote-unquote sweat factor.
Okay, so having that's probably why New Orleans is probably not.
Well, I mean, but humidity is taken into account heavily too. So,
you know what? I don't think New Orleans would be number one, but I want to go number 5, like you said.
Okay, what do you think's number 5, TJ?
So obviously, TJ, you might want to go with me. You might do something else. I want to hedge our bets.
So I do have a document here. I've scrolled to where I cannot see the list. You just have to take my honor system on that.
Better not look, TJ.
What was number 1 on the previous list?
Phoenix.
Number 1 was Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, I'll say that it's moved down to number 5.
Close. Dallas, Texas is number 5 now. And number 4, since you just guessed it, would be Phoenix. Scotty, your guess for number 5 is number 3, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, there we go.
Number 2.
Ooh, man.
Actually,
Tucson was on that list before, wasn't it? But
it
was. Said, you know what? Florida hasn't been included. I think that's
Actually, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. Let's try this again.
Oh shit.
Number 5, Las Vegas, Nevada. Number 4, Dallas, Texas. Number 3, Phoenix. Number 2 in the United States, Nolens, Louisiana.
Yeah, boy.
Nolens, baby. Nolens,
baby. Nolens, get you a sweaty muffalata, you fucking pig.
What do you think? What do you think beat you guys? What's the sweatiest place?
All I can tell you is the sweatiest place I've ever personally been.
It's Florida.
Florida's got to be on the so like I would say like Miami, Florida, maybe, or
it's Orlando, Florida.
Oh. I was about to say Orlando, but yeah, that's good.
It's Orlando, Florida.
I'll tell you what, that makes sense to me, honestly, because the only place I've ever been where I'm sweatier than I am here is when I fucking have gone to Orlando. So it makes sense.
And it's probably why I was so fucking miserable when I went to Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
Sweat City Diddy. But yeah, that's kind of funny. New Orleans didn't even really show up on the map. Shreveport was the only Louisiana city that even charted on the Sweatometer back in 2006.
Yeah, that's so weird. I wonder why.
I've been there many times. It does not compare to down here.
And now, I mean, New Orleans is straight up number 2 with a bullet, you know. And Phoenix has moved down. Phoenix has moved down to number 3, but it has maintained the strongest position over those years, only moving down 2 spots. So here's a little bit about Phoenix. I actually lived in Phoenix for about a year and a half. So in preparation for sorry, I already read that. Phoenix adult residents sweat so much that the city's perspiration could fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool in less than 3 hours.
Oof. I don't want that swimming pool.
So, Phoenix has earned the dubious honor of near topping the top 100 sweatiest cities worldwide list. Nation list that we've just talked about that. So ranking the nation's heaviest sweaters during the summer, as determined by researchers at Procter & Gamble. So during a typical summer day in 2005, the average Phoenix adult secreted 26 ounces of sweat per hour while walking outdoors.
Fuck.
That is a profound amount of sweat.
I mean, Paul, you live there. You know, Phoenix is normally in the summer, 115 degrees during the day?
I wouldn't say it's like normally that, but it can hit the high double digits like that days in a row. I would say it's normally 99, 98.
This web app is stopped.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Reload.
Okay.
The fuck's going on, TJ?
I don't know.
Yeah, it
What
loaded.
are you again, TJ?
It loaded fine for me.
Load.
It's just a map showing where fucking Phoenix is. Editor, put a map of the United States showing where fucking Phoenix is. Thank you. Phoenix it doesn't matter. Phoenix in particular is so hot due to a variety of factors that compound each other's effects. First, being in the Southwest, Arizona is relatively close to the equator compared to the rest of the United States. Much of the sweat-inducing plumes of storms farther south come to rest in Phoenix. Hot air rises and sinks down into the Salt River Valley, also known as the Valley of the Sun. Finally, Arizona is under higher pressure systems, resulting in drier heat, exacerbated by the elevation of the city and the suffocation of the urban sprawl around it. So the blacktop and all of that shit.
I mean, it's arid, of course, too. I mean, like, Phoenix is in a desert. So.
Yes. Despite all these sweat-inducing conditions, Phoenix, Arizona holds the record as the only U.S. state capital with over 1 million residents. So it has actually pretty close to 2 million. It's 1,680,992 residents as of 2019.
I know. Well, Austin's probably going to get that honor soon as well. But yeah, I guess for now.
The biggest push for their population growth was actually soldiers coming home after World War II and subsequently using their technical skill to develop air conditioning units for the masses. So that's why Phoenix became a boom town and exploded in population. I want to
point out, by the way, how much better air conditioning is than our body's natural cooling system of sweat.
Agreed.
Which, flat out, I would say, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. Sweat doesn't work. It doesn't work for me anyway. I've never been like, a cool sweat. Maybe it works in a place where fucking sweat actually evaporates, but here in the swamp, all it does is cling to your skin as like a hot blanket of fucking boiling water that's fucking stuck to you.
No, it does. It helps you, TJ. That's why
it don't help shit for me. I'd rather not sweat. I've never felt it cool me down. I hate it. I'd rather pant like a dog.
It has.
Or you know what I'd really rather do? I'd rather fucking just stay inside where it's nice and cool.
Sweat feels good if you're working outside.
Sweat is garbage.
So let's talk a little bit about the problems of sweat. Excessive sweat is actually a medical problem that some people experience.
Yeah.
Of course, the sweatiest of the sweaty can't solely blame their moistness on the environment. Hyperhidrosis is the medical term for production of excessive sweat, not directly linked to heat or exercise. Hyperhidrosis can either be idiopathic, meaning having no known cause, or comorbid with other medical conditions like diabetes, cancer, and menopause. It may also be a side effect of either anxiety or certain certain medications. Treatment can range from simple to invasive and include prescription antidepressants, Botox injections, or the outright removal of sweat glands and the nerves that control them in some extreme cases.
I want it. I want sweat gland removal surgery.
It's like transhumanism to you, isn't it?
I never want to fucking sweat again.
A lot of people have problems with like sweaty palms and shit. So like there's like crazy machines that people will build at home with like batteries and shit. Like it shocks your system so you don't sweat from your palms as much. I've seen that shit on YouTube before. Yeah. There's videos you can watch.
I don't think I've ever sweated from my palms before in my fucking life.
Really?
You probably have. You probably just don't sweat enough to really notice.
I get
to a degree.
So as a side effect of my anxiety, one of the first signs that I'm building up kind of like maybe possibly towards a panic attack is that I get really clammy, sweaty hands. Like that's one of the first warning signs that I get is that my hands will get real sweaty.
Yeah, Scotty's hands are fucking gross. Like you ever shake Scotty's hand or something? It's like shaking hands with a squid monster.
I probably don't, realize it because I've got a pretty sweaty hand too. I mean,
my hand's not even clammy. TJ, you see my hand's clammy?
Yeah, like right now my hand is not clammy. It's wounded, but not clammy.
You're a liar, TJ.
Scott, your hand is clammy and disgusting. You're a revolting creature. You should crawl back into the sea and die.
Diagnosis of hyperhidrosis is actually pretty rare. Only about 20,000 cases a year in the U.S. are diagnosed. Characteristic symptoms include slick palms and soles, frequent sweating, and sweats that soak through clothing.
What the fuck is going on here?
This is a person who's suffering from... So you know how like when you get in the bath or you're in the pool and you're in there for a long time and you get wrinkly?
Yeah, you get pruny, yeah.
So this is a person who has hyperhidrosis of the foot. And it just makes their feet constantly wet. And so they're constantly wrinkly and pruny and prone to getting bacterial infections and stuff. It's bad news bears when you have it this bad.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
As I said, it can lead to more frequent skin infections as bacteria and fungus are more drawn to damp skin. Maceration is a fancy word for mushy, wet appearance that skin gets when it's continually moist. So if you've ever gotten in the bath and you get out and your fingers are pruned up, the medical term for that is macerated.
I don't like it. It's gross. It's disgusting.
You're macerated, TJ.
Contrary to popular belief, skin doesn't wrinkle due to water entering the skin under the epidermis, but by blood vessels constricting. The wrinkles may aid with grasping, slippery, or wet objects.
Oh, these freaking feet, dude. Okay, yeah. I can handle that a lot better. Those
so you can see like prune fingers here from being in the water.
Prune finger.
Granted, if your hands are
to enter his den of prunes. I'm sorry.
Prunes.
We'll smuggle all the prunes out of Fort Knox.
Oh man. So yeah, it doesn't wrinkle due to water getting in the skin, like just soaking in. It's blood vessels constricting that allow the water to kind of get into the grooves of the skin. And it's theorized that this is to help us to grasp things underwater. But if you have hydrosis, that doesn't help with dry objects, so.
Yeah.
I will constipate America, thus sending my prune juice stock through the roof.
So sweat.
Sauna suits, yeah.
Sweat is also sold as like a weight loss thing in America and elsewhere. This is a sauna suit.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, though, you can't sweat weight out. Any weight that you sweat out is going to be water weight that's going to be put back as soon as you take a drink after your workout.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't you say that there was a certain kind of sweat that had fat in it?
That's the stress sweat.
Right. So you just have to stress yourself the fuck out.
Well, going out in public wearing one of these would stress me the fuck out. So I guess it would probably.
That would be good. People just looking at you like, what the fuck? Hey there, spaceman. What's up?
All the pounds, like I said, shed by sweating are put back after you rehydrate after your workout. Plus, you'll look like a total dork in this metallic, puffy suit.
Well, what if you don't rehydrate, though? You just sap all the water right out of your system. Don't put any back in. Bam.
Then,
forever.
my friend,
also probably dead.
You die. So fuck all this informational shit about sweat. I know what people are thinking. Oh, Paul's just going to talk about sweat. No. Let's talk about some sweat-impacted things that matter. What are the sweatiest sports on Earth?
Yeah, sweat sports.
Now, these are not in any order. I don't really know if you can actually quantify what the sweatiest sport on Earth is. But we're going to look at some of the sweatiest for sure.
I'll tell you what it's not. Bowling.
That is definitely not on the list. Neither is curling.
Yeah.
That Canadian sport that's now part of our Winter Olympics.
Yeah, how
we do that on ice, so that's gonna be cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
They cried until they got it admitted. It's bullshit.
Yeah, fucking Canadians. No other country even plays that shit, but somehow it's in the Olympics. Like, oh yeah, that's fair. You guys are the only ones that do that.
I think Norway plays it or something too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe they can have their own little Olympics. They can compete against each other.
Yeah, they could be the Canadian versus Norway Olympics. And then, they can have curling as a sport there. Whatever.
And nobody can care there either.
Yeah. I don't even understand what the fuck they're doing when I see that shit. I'm just looking at it
they're
like
trying to get, it's like shuffle puck. It's like they're trying to get the puck closest to the bullseye and then also knock the other person's puck out. So it's like that. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit game.
Sounds
not a real sport anyways.
Tennis matches involve short duration bursts of all-out energy in the form of quick sprints, transitional movements, and hitting the ball. All of these movements require a great deal of strength, speed, power, and control, which gets you real sweaty. I will also tell you this. If you search sweaty tennis, it's basically porn. It's nothing but hot tennis chicks and upskirts and their boobs bobbling around and stuff.
Yeah, it's just
a lot of grunting. Like,
I want to confirm that this is even real. All right, sweaty tennis, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, he's pretty much telling the truth.
Yeah. It's hot tennis chicks as far as the eye can see. So the interval nature of tennis requires the body to operate at higher intensities than more continuous sports. So it's like, because you get to sit down at the end of a round of tennis and cool down for a minute, it actually makes it harder because you expect it to get right back up, get back into that zone, then stop. Blah, blah, and it's boom, 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 boom. So it's a very taxing experience, which, gets people sweaty.
Gets people especially sweaty. And we saw that picture you just had up a second ago. That guy looked like he was fucking just like
I found a better picture to demonstrate the effect of this. It does have the Shutterstock logo on it. Sorry about that.
Shutterstock.com.
I think this kind of demonstrates, I mean, she's not sweaty, but she's going to be soon. So, it's kind of like sweat anticipation, No? Okay, sorry. We'll look at this article.
Doesn't really seem like a person that looks like
it came up when I fucking typed sweaty tennis. So,
So, take my sweat, please. Tennis's gross ritual. In a sport known for its genteel traditions, tennis has one increasingly common ritual that stands apart for its ickiness. The passing of the sweat-soaked towel happens dozens of times in a long match and is in full glory on courts at Flushing Meadows. Players call for a towel to be brought to them in the middle of a game, and they quickly wipe the sweat from their faces, sometimes even their necks, arms, and legs. Then, in a fluid motion that's become part of the culture of the men's and women's tours, they casually toss the sweaty rag back to the barehanded ball kid to be stowed neatly away for the next rub down.
Sweat boy! Sweat boy! Time out! Yes, sir.
Sweat boy.
Yeah, sweat boy.
They don't even look at him.
Sweat towel. Yeah, they're just like, you are not even human to me.
Subhuman
I am a tennis player. You are but a fucking ball kid. What the
ball
fuck,
boy?
Man?
It's like you can't just throw the towel over somewhere yourself real quick or hand it to the kid at the very least. You got to throw it at him and not look.
Yeah.
How vulgar you are, Paul.
It's tennis tradition.
It's like a total TJ maneuver, by the way.
Tennis is tossing it back to him, not even looking at him, just like throwing it back. Like,
see, tennis would be a sport that I would say it'd be one that I'd come up with, but it's way too much. Like, there's too much exertion happening. But like this whole maneuver, I can get down with this. I can get down with this part where you just throw a fucking sweaty towel at someone and expect them to handle it. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, it's for that reason that you've got to consider tennis to be one of the sweatiest sports ever, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, like when you got like a whole fucking person whose job it is to like
sweat boy,
bring your sweat towel and take it away again,
When you take a sweat time out, you kind of have to give it to that sport. It's a pretty sweaty sport.
It's got to be up there, right? It's got to be up
there. Sweat break.
Sweat boy.
Time for sweat. All right, sweat boy.
So next on the list, basketball. We know this is a sweaty sport. There's Teen Wolf himself.
He's about to turn into a fucking wolf. He won't be sweaty then.
Like tennis, basketball involves a lot of high-intensity, quick bursts of movement, including incredible displays of speed, agility, and vertical jumping power. While highly interval-based in nature, this, by the way, you remember who this is? Anybody?
Charles Barkley did.
There you go. I knew Scotty would know.
Charles Charkley.
Or as I like to call him, Charles Sweaty.
Yeah.
Look at the sweat.
The sweat master Barkley. And I got to tell you, in basketball, being sweaty kind of gives you an upper hand because, dude, you don't want to properly cover a dude that's like this sweaty, you know?
Dude, Jordan has some crazy sweaty pictures of like just.
Oh yeah,
a lot of these guys though in these games. Oh yeah, like towards the end of the fourth quarter, or like whatever. Like, dude, like or like I'm telling you, man. Like I've seen these guys. Like you'll see the close-ups, and it's like they need a sweat timeout.
So we know, basketball involves running up and down the court. It's interval based, just like tennis, where they get to sit down for a little while and then they have to get back up and play another quarter and boom, 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 boom. Fast bursts, athletic jumps. But what if I told you, and this is where I was going to go on my little rant about how being sweaty in basketball is actually a good defensive maneuver because nobody wants to cover you. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to put their hands and bump up against you if you're all sweaty.
Especially when you got fucking hairy ass back and shoulder fucking shit like this dude.
Yep.
See this other guy, he's just like, I don't want to get any closer than this. It's like, that's a distinct advantage right there.
In 2016, a coach for the Arizona Wildcats named Sean Miller had one of the most shocking displays of sweat that I've ever seen in my life. You can go ahead and go to the next picture, TJ.
Damn.
Sean Miller sweat through his entire shirt, and this was in the first 15 minutes of the game. This was a big story back in 2016. I actually pulled I didn't pull the story because it doesn't matter. It's a story about a game that happened in 2016. And a funny anecdote from it was that Sean Miller, as you can see, schwitzed all the way through that shirt.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
He's got a couple of little dry patches, but overall, yeah, it's just, that shirt had probably be thrown away afterwards, man. I don't know if you can wash the stink out of a fucking shirt that is soaked with sweat. Like hopefully he's got some different shirts he can wear to these games. If he still coaches, I don't even know. It's 4 years ago, 5 years.
He may as well at this point just strip it off. Let us see what's doing. Let the sweat
got going
drip.
on.
Let the body sweat drip, says I.
Those two players behind him are just trying not to look at him. They're trying not to. What's that smell, man? It's the coach.
They're like, damn, is coach okay?
Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't know. You just don't wear white. If you sweat like this, man, you cannot wear a white shirt.
Did somebody dump the Gatorade early or something? Like, what happened?
Did I miss that? What the fuck is going on with this dude? Some people are just like this, man.
It's true. I probably, if I were wearing a white button up, probably would have looked like this at the last DFF meetup in New Orleans. I schwitzed my way through three separate shirts that night.
Yeah, Paul always fucking, he didn't do it the first few times, but like after you figured it out, you fucking Paul would bring like 2 or 3 backup shirts to the meetups just so he could
did you towel off?
It wasn't even for that. It was Peyton. Peyton saved me. I brought 1 backup shirt that night, and Peyton brought me 2 other shirts, and I schwitzed my way through my backup shirt immediately, and I needed those Peyton shirts.
Yeah, dude.
What about soccer? Soccer's pretty sweaty.
It's football, it's not soccer.
Nope.
Soccer, football.
I refuse to capitulate to the foreign hordes demanding that I call this football. This is not football. Football is played with pads and an oblong pigskin. This is soccer, friends. And it is a sweaty sport. It gets sweaty out there on the field. I will also tell you that if you want to go the other direction, TJ, and want to see just a bunch of hot, sweaty, shirtless, drippy dudes, sweaty soccer is the search term for you, my friend. You see what I mean? Like just Adonis after Adonis after Adonis. I'm telling you.
Let's see what's going on. I see a lot of fucking stupid computer generated bullshit. What is going on? Yeah.
I don't know, TJ.
Maybe you got a different fucking.
I don't know what you landed on, TJ. I landed on a bunch of basically like Michelangelo's Davids dripping in sweat and shit.
I got a bunch of goddamn Fortnite shit.
Well, okay, let's take a pause. Let's take a pause for a second and let's address something that I wasn't even going to address in this episode. There is a term that gets passed around the gaming community, if you want to call it that. Sweaty. That play that you made was sweaty. This player is sweaty. And what it means is that the player is literally trying as hard as possible. They might have just made an amazing play, but they're being an incredible tryhard. Like it's like you're going the extra mile to be extra sweaty about it. Does that make sense? So
I don't really see how that's disparaging, but whatever. Yeah.
Like
see.
It is used in a
too much.
It's like
I don't really know how.
If you go,
I always thought it was a stupid insult. Like you're trying your best. Boo.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Fuck you. Yeah, I am.
So a sweaty is somebody that is like hunched over their keyboard, giving 120% and possibly pulling off crazy shit, but maybe in a match that doesn't even really mean all that much. You know what I mean? Like they don't need to be as sweaty as they're being, but they're being hella sweaty.
Fuck that. Always give 197.3%.
You don't understand, TJ.
It sounds like people who are
always
sweat
give
challenged.
it.
They can't sweat themselves, so they get jealous of the other sweaties. It's like, you know what? You don't get to be a sweaty.
It is a salty term
because you're trying too hard and it's fucking bullshit.
It is a salty term. Like I will admit, like you. Here's where I'll often hear the term sweaty. I'll be watching like a League of Legends streamer or something, and he'll get killed.
Sure.
And then he'll immediately go, "Oh my god, this fucking Master Yi is so sweaty," because the guy that killed him, tried real hard and got the kill. So it is a term of salt in gaming. Now it's covered. I want to hear about it in the fucking chat, gamers. I covered your goddamn sweaty term.
Sweaty. But Paul sweaty. Been covered.
Sucker.
These fucking gamers.
We're on to lacrosse, I guess.
Lacrosse. I didn't know much about lacrosse. And I still don't. But I did pull. You can mute this, by the way. It's it's just a bunch of, it's a lacrosse.
Ooh, biggest hits of 2009. Boom. Fuck you, bitch. Whap. Son of a bitch.
I mean, you can tell this gets pretty sweaty
violent
out there.
I didn't know they fucking did this. I didn't know they were doing all this fucking running into each other shit.
Yeah, lacrosse can be brutal. Like, it's actually legal to whack each other with your sticks in lacrosse.
Damn, lacrosse is hard motherfucking core.
Look at that. They just push each other over. They slam each other. They knock each other out.
Oh, man, they just fucking hit each other with sticks and shit.
What the fuck? Oh, fuck, he just clobbered that dude with that stick.
God damn, we need some lacrosse up in this motherfucking country.
Oh, I'm going for the ball. They play lacrosse. I think it's mainly played in like college and high school.
Yeah, where the fuck? Why is this not like a national thing? It's like football with sticks.
Well, it is an up-and-coming sport, but not a nationally popular one in the United States as of now. But like Scotty said, it is played at the college level in the U.S. And,
dude, I didn't even know they hit each other. I just thought lacrosse was like a bunch of little fucking pussies going around and throw the ball in the little net.
It is a contact sport, dude.
It is a contact sport.
Punch the shit out of that mother. Hit him with the stick. Hit him with the fucking stick, bitch. Hit him.
Oh.
Punch him in the fucking face. Yeah, get him by the fucking
he
neck.
just eviscerated that guy.
Snap him in fucking two.
Oh, dude.
Kill that son of a bitch.
You tell it's a textbook technique with lacrosse. You can just tell they'll grab their stick like this and they just shove it
he
into
lost
your
his
face.
stick, you dumb little bitch. Man, cool.
So
I like when people get hurt. That's always fun.
Isn't like I said, it isn't yet internationally popular like soccer is. By the way, here's a lacrosse player for you.
Jesus.
He wants to hit you with that net there, TJ.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got a big stick, TJ.
He wants to fucking tackle you in the midfield, TJ, and take your ball.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Players need to fend off the painful whacks of opponents' sticks, fight for loose balls on the ground, constantly have their head on a swivel to avoid getting knocked out cold by an opponent. So you can see why they have to be built like Thor to play a game.
Dude.
What about ice hockey? You think just because it's cold in the arena that ice hockey isn't a sweaty sport? You are wrong.
Some more lacrosse.
Yeah, some female lacrosse players there for you. Ice hockey is a sweaty sport. And one of the hardest sports to play, according to a lot of the lists that I looked at.
Yeah, because you got to fucking know how to skate, too.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're skating. So because of the expenses,
and you got a stupid stick, and you got to fight people, you know? A lot of shit going on.
Like lacrosse, hockey's a very expensive game to play. The gear for it is very expensive. It's a largely under-recognized sport in most areas of the world, but those who have stepped foot in the ice can attest to the incredible demands that this sport puts on your body. Hockey involves 45-second shifts of high-intensity effort, quick starts, stops, direction changes, fighting for loose pucks, hard hits. Players are accustomed to fighting through painful burning in their legs as fatigue accumulates. The interval nature and physicality of the game makes it uniquely demanding. Not to mention the whole game is played while standing on a steel blade that's about 1/8 of an inch thick. So it is a sweaty sport for sure. Can't always see it because the guys are padded up, but I guarantee you, I've worn enough. I haven't played hockey, but I have worn hockey jerseys before and sweat in them. And let me tell you, if I was actually exerting myself in those hockey jerseys, I don't even know what would have happened. I don't even know. Might have just melted the ice I was skating on, you know?
Yeah, it's an intense sport. I mean, yeah, and those arenas are cold when they play hockey. But I'll tell you what, yeah, if you're sweating that much, it's not going to matter. You're going to fucking sweat through that shit in no time.
The last sport that we're going to cover tonight is MMA. I would be remiss if I didn't mention MMA. It is a sweaty fucking sport. You know, dude.
Or you got to grab people and shit too. So it's like it's even harder because if you get sweaty enough, that might be like a defense mechanism you could actually employ as a strategy.
Yep. So MMA is characterized by a wide variety of standing and ground-based striking and grappling techniques. As a result, competitors come with a wide variety of fighting and wrestling backgrounds. During each 5-minute round, fighters need to maintain an unparalleled level of physical and mental alertness to avoid falling victim to technically perfect fight-ending blows from an opponent. So very demanding sport and a very sweaty sport. But you know what? I'm starting to get bored with sports. Let's talk about something that we all love, and let's talk about a problem. Something has disappeared from our movies. What happened to sweatiness? Have you noticed?
What the fuck?
Now look here at the Avengers.
Yeah.
This is in the midst of the big LA scene. This is not right when they show up. They've been fighting. They've assembled again. Where's the sweat? Nobody sweats in the movies anymore. Have you noticed this? It's like sweating is taboo in film. And then you might say, well, hasn't it always been, Paul Zigo? I mean, there's no sweaty movies, really, that I can think of. Wrong. People used to schwitz in movies. They used to, look at this. Look at this. Nobody's sweating. How is that possible? Well,
yeah, I'm looking. I don't see any sweat.
Can you guys think off the top of your head before we move on of any particularly sweaty movies? I was able to think of a few.
All the Rocky movies are pretty sweaty.
Yeah, I will give you that, definitely.
Fucking Predator. That's a sweaty ass movie.
It's true. It's on the list. We'll cover it here in a minute. It had to go on the list. That is a sweaty movie. It seems to me, and maybe I'm wrong, that sweaty has been replaced by dirty to show physical exertion and exhaustion.
Yeah, we don't sweat dirt. We sweat.
So you can see
you,
here,
Hollywood.
Captain America, he's dirty. He's not sweaty. Nobody's sweaty. Not even Bucky with that long ass hair and a full body leather suit is sweaty back there. He's fine. So let's talk about some sweaty movies. Marlon Brando.
Here's another example of the dirtiness of it.
Yeah, another example. These two guys are just dirty. He's just dirty. Sweaty.
Sweaty. Good old fashioned sweaty.
We covered this in our Marlon Brando biopic kind of that we did. But Marlon Brando was particularly sweaty in Apocalypse Now, as we learned then, probably because he was about 100 pounds overweight. So granted, there was a lot of ambient heat due to the movie being filmed in the Philippines. So that may have contributed to the sweatiness, but it is a particularly sweaty movie, Apocalypse Now, in its own right. If you can go to the next slide, please, TJ. Sorry to tear you away from your cell phone today, TJ.
My cell phone's face down over here.
Mm-hmm.
Face down.
Mm-hmm.
I was just playing with this marker. Come on.
You're playing with a marker?
TJ has...
Put Sharpie and Pooper.
Yeah, so don't let him lie to you. TJ has 2 cell phones.
He's got 2 phones.
Oh.
So this is Dennis Hopper with a bead of sweat. Of course,
single bead of
I pulled this to illustrate that drugs may have also aided the sweating in this film, given that Martin Sheen had a heart attack at only 36 years old on the set and in good shape. And 14-year-old Lawrence Fishburne claims he became hooked on heroin through Dennis Hopper.
Damn.
So I guess 14-year-old Lawrence Fishburne worked on that movie somewhere and claims that Dennis Hopper gave him his first taste.
Hey, look, these people are both dirty and sweaty.
I guess Easy Rider maybe wasn't as much of a fiction as I thought.
So this is Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn in African Queen, which is an incredibly fucking sweaty movie, if we're honest. It's rather sweaty, mostly due to the location and illness. In one of the opening scenes, which was filmed towards the end of the production, Katharine Hepburn was profusely sweating while playing the piano during a hymn. This was from her refusing to drink anything but water while filming in Africa. And as a result, she got dysentery. So they tried to give her like bottled stuff to drink. And she was like, no.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Humphrey Bogart, this is a famous story about that movie, too, is that he never got dysentery because he just drank like spirits. He drank like whiskey and shit.
Yeah, he's
so
a good man.
He was all right.
Oh, yeah. This is another sweaty ass fucking movie.
12 Angry Men.
Yeah, they got super sweaty up in that motherfucker because, it was like a whole big subplot that the room was like hot and uncomfortable to be in.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was
like another thing that was trying to like, kind of acting. They were just like,
come on, let's get out of here.
No one really wanted to fucking even debate this out. They wanted to just get the fuck out.
Come on.
There's multiple layers.
He's guilty. Let's get out of here.
There's multiple layers to the sweat symbolism in the movie. It's used as sweatiness as an actual plot point in the movie and is mentioned a couple of times. And it also is used to kind of illustrate the tension in the room as it ramps up. People get sweatier and sweatier in the film. This is particularly true of the original black and white version of the film. It's less true of the remake, but still true. Here's a picture of the cast in the remake here. Not as sweaty. This is obviously just a production photo here.
Yeah, this is not a scene. There wasn't a scene where they all just kind of, you know.
So the 1997 remake, in my opinion, is pretty good. It's not as good as the original, but it's good. The cast is great. It's got a phenomenal cast in it. Maintains sweat as a plot point, but it's noticeably less sweaty as a film. So it's almost like...
So the sweat has already been started to dry at this point.
Right. Exactly. In Hollywood, the sweat has already started to dry by 1997 when they remake this iconic film. Everybody in this movie, I'm telling you, man, less sweaty than the original.
Executives were just like, too much sweat, too much sweat, too much sweat. And eventually it just came to the point where they wouldn't allow any sweat in a fucking movie. They're just like, sweat's passe.
I feel like that may be what happened. The Alien franchise is pretty moist throughout. I have recently been delving back into these movies, and
that xenomorph is sweaty too.
Yeah, I mean, sweat. You have to. It's secreting something, right? And so that's xenomorph sweat.
Xenomorph, look at
I'm not talking about necessarily
environment, TJ.
I'm not necessarily coming about what's coming off its mouth, but look at its skin. It's
all shimmery.
Wet. Yeah,
it's got sweaty teeth, sweaty face, a sweaty head, a sweaty body. They just love to be sweaty. Dude, they love tropical climates. Like, so if anywhere TJ, if the xenomorphs come to Earth, dude, we're fucked because they're gonna start off here.
And maybe once again, Ripley is a heroine who is portrayed in all three of the original movies as pretty sweaty, like not like crazy sweaty all the time, but she sweats a lot in all three of these movies. And once again, when's the last time there was a sweaty chick in a movie? You can't think of one. You can't think of one. You can't think of one.
I don't know.
Your mind is blank.
I can't.
Your mind is blank.
Right. Okay, fine. It's blank.
I'm searching.
Jesus.
No, I've got nothing. It's blank. Oh, God, I don't know what to do anymore.
You guys ever seen Cool Hand Luke?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Cool Hand Luke is a sweaty movie. Cool Hand Luke, the titular character, and all of his prisoner buddies spend a lot of time digging ditches and building fences and whatnot in the movie, and there's a lot of sweat. They once again, it just shows you that Hollywood back in the day was not afraid to show people getting a real, honest to goodness, strong flop sweat.
Mm-hmm.
You remember this movie here?
I thought he was jerking off. It looks like he's jerking off if you fucking have it right
Jimmy
here.
Stewart.
Yeah, it kind of does. Oh, Jesus, I'm about to fucking come. Oh, God.
About to blow a load.
I'm about to just blow a load. Oh. Oh.
Is this
Jimmy Stewart jerking off is funny as fuck. Yeah. Yeah.
This is Rear Window. Takes place, during a massive heat wave in Manhattan, which is, another narrative device where heat is used to imply and ramp up tension in the movie. So as the movie goes on and the main character becomes more and more sure that he's witnessed a murder, it gets hotter and hotter, and he gets sweatier and sweatier as a result. The only person in the movie that never sweats at all is also one of the most active people in the movie, Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly doesn't ever get even the slightest sheen of sweat on her in this movie. I don't think Grace Kelly actually sweat. I think
at the beginning when you said everyone had sweat glands, you meant everyone but Grace.
Everyone except for Grace Kelly had sweat glands. One of the the classical beauties of Hollywood's antiquity, and I don't think that she could sweat even if they asked her to. Probably not.
You guys might notice all of a sudden everything looks different. We're all wearing different clothes. You might be wondering, like, what the hell is that about? So we recorded this episode. We went back to edit it. We saw that the file had been corrupted for some reason. And so we're reshooting the end. So, yeah, that's basically why there's sudden wardrobe change. I know people are going to be curious. So
hey,
that's
TJ,
why.
what the fuck can you do? Huh?
I think it's probably Scotty's fault. Scotty was supposed to be recording a backup, and he just Didn't do it.
I know
Just
what.
lazy,
Back
Scotty.
up.
Why you so lazy, Scotty?
What?
Why you so
what?
lazy, Scotty?
You need to back yourself up, TJ.
You know who
I
I
think it was you that was supposed to record a fucking backup, you loser.
Well, look at you. You look sweatier than me, Scotty. Look how sweaty you are.
Now you mentioned I do feel a little sweaty today.
Look how sweaty. Look at that gleam upon your brow, dude.
Oh shit!
I think you're
He is
feeling the
sweaty.
sweat, Scotty.
Oh, I feel the pressure. Oh, here too. Oh fuck! Oh, sweating like crazy, man.
You're a sweaty boy, Scotty.
So I
I'm a
guess
little
we were talking about some sweaty movies to wrap things up.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a sweaty one. I don't know if you guys have seen Dog Day Afternoon or not.
I have.
So
Good
let
movie.
me. Dog Day Afternoon is that's the one where he robs the bank. He like holds a bunch of people hostage in there.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, then I've
Yes.
seen it.
So yeah, he is. This whole movie's real sweaty. Like it takes place during the dog days of summer when it's super hot, right? And so all the cops outside that are like surrounding the bank as he holds these people hostage are sweaty, and then inside they turn off the electricity to the building so that it gets hot in there to make it uncomfortable, hoping to get them to come out. And so they're all sweaty inside, they're all sweaty outside, and this is a pretty fucking sweaty movie.
I'm looking at
Yeah,
Pacino here, dude. He looks drenched.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I mean, he gets even worse as the movie goes on. This is pretty early on in the movie here.
This is just initial phase. This is him at but 1% of his true sweaty power.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Oh fuck, dude. He's sweaty.
Yeah,
Oh man,
I mean,
he's drenched.
Like that whole outer shirt and undershirt looks like he jumped in a pool.
This is like Paul at one of our meetups level sweaty right now.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Yup.
Yeah.
This is
I'll do it to you.
his compatriot Sal here at the end of the movie.
Fredo.
Yeah. Also Fredo.
Fredo.
Yeah, and
that's actually-
he's very sweaty too. You can see his hair plastered to his face here.
Yeah, I like his sweatiness because he's had that like the hair is well, it's not super long, but it's long enough where it's just like caked in fucking sweat. It takes place in where? New York, doesn't it?
Yeah, New York City.
Yeah, New York City. Yeah. So, whew, I don't know how blistering their summers are, but this movie.
I mean,
makes
it can
it
get pretty. New York City can get pretty fucking hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, plus all the this when you live in that super urban environment, just like all that blacktop, everything just absorbs that heat from the sun. Ugh.
So the maximum
Sticky.
temperature New York City has ever recorded would be 106 degrees Fahrenheit on July 9th, 1936.
Dude, on the fucking in the city too. I bet in 1936, I bet a bunch of people died in that.
Oh,
Fuck
probably.
yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. 106 degrees. That's well before air conditioning. was
Pre-air
common.
conditioning, yeah. Fuck that.
I don't know. I think there might have been some air conditioning in
It
1936.
existed, but I don't think it was
But
super
probably not
common.
many people had it.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, and as recently as last July of 2020, New York City reached temperatures of 96 degrees. So, yeah, it's not uncommon.
And some bank in a tent situation, dude. Yeah, everyone will be covered. With no AC, you're covered in sweat.
So, yeah, this movie takes place in that sort of sweltering heat.
Yep.
And I think it really, I mean, like I know we've said it a million times in this kind of sweat episode in terms of like what it adds in these movies, but it really does add to an atmosphere. It really does tell you some information.
Well, we talked at the beginning. We talked at the beginning of this like little movie thing about how like sweat has kind of disappeared from movies now.
Yeah, now it's just replaced with grime.
Yeah.
Now everyone's just dirty.
So this is the next movie on our list is not one that I'm super familiar with, but I thought you guys might be. Stray Dog by Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah,
I'm not
this is
sure
very,
if you've seen this.
very super young Toshiro Mifune here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a post war kind of crime drama. I think it was done in like the late 40s, if I remember.
Yeah, it was 1949. Actually, Kurosawa wrote the entire. He wanted to get it right, and he wrote the entire movie as a book before he wrote the screenplay. He wanted it to have that sort of feel of like an old crime book, and so he actually wrote a novel, not with any intent to publish it. He just wrote it so that he would have the basis to adapt it into a film, which is a very strange thing to do. But Kurosawa was just like that.
A perfectionist sort of director, yeah.
Oh yeah.
This
This
does
film
take place in the summer, yeah.
Yeah, and this is it's supposed to kind of like the movie is kind of like set to the backdrop of like post-war Japan and shit, and there's a lot of Western invasion kind of going on, and it's really like uncertain what the new Japan is going to look like. So basically, it takes place during this time of like tumult and uncertainty and shit. Actually, it's a kind of a precursor. I'm looking at the this part I'm getting right from the Wikipedia. It says this film is considered a precursor to the contemporary police procedural and buddy cop film genres. So, kind of those are, pretty rote categories at this point, but at this time, pretty unique.
I mean, they can be rote. I mean, the whole like police procedural / buddy cop thing can work if it's done well still. But it's just been fucking run into the ground and done poorly so many fucking times that it's kind of like lost favor in a lot of people's eyes. But
so this movie does take place during a heat wave. So this sweat is totally appropriate.
Especially wearing a suit.
Oh yeah, and it centers around a cop whose gun is stolen from him, which of course is extremely embarrassing and brings dishonor and shit like that to him, and he goes to extreme lengths to try to recover the weapon, and then to add insult to injury, his weapon keeps getting used in the commission of crimes, and so he feels very responsible for that and stuff like that. Cool film. Not Kurosawa's best, but a pretty cool indicator of like his early work and like the potential that he would one day achieve. Here's another shot from it. You can literally see the sweat dripping off his chin there.
Yeah, he's got like a whole droplet.
It says Tokyo has a humid subtropical climate. Summer, June through September, is hot. That didn't seem super hot to us here in Louisiana. The bunker may be cooler. Who knows where that is? August, it says their high is about 88. July, 85. 78, but very muggy. That's
the difference.
It's very muggy.
88, 89, 90 degrees and 80% humidity is fucking intolerable. It's
right.
Shit.
Japan has very high humidity during the summer, at least. It almost has it kind of has a somewhat similar climate to Louisiana, I think. They have a lot of the same insect life. You can hear those.
No gators, though. Do they have gators?
No gators. That's true. They do not have any
Japanese gator, dude. I'd love to see that.
Japanese alligator. This is from
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Of course. Tuco.
Yeah, Tuco from Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Now, I've noticed in this movie that sweat is used to kind of indicate shiftiness more than heat. Mm-hmm. Because there's like that whole scene where, Tuco gets the upper hand on Blondie and drags him through the desert. And Blondie doesn't really sweat much. Like, his lips get all dry and shit.
He gets burned.
Yeah, he gets all burnt, but he doesn't sweat much. Like, Tuco is always sweaty in this movie, though. And I think it's like intentional to indicate him being a nervous, conniving, shifty kind of rat-like character almost.
Yeah, ultimately kind of portrayed as a sympathetic character, though, in the film.
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, he's sympathetic, but you also know that he would put a fucking knife in your back if given the opportunity, if it meant that he got,
I think I don't want to give anything away to anyone who might not have seen the film because it is worth watching. But I think that the way that they ended his character's story in the movie kind of indicates both the fact that he was a sympathetic character and that he's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
that's kind of interesting. I mean, sweatiness. I guess it could be used to show nervousness, and nervousness, I guess, can be sort of associated with.
It's definitely like a Western trope for there to be a showdown and one guy looks just steely cold and calm and the other guy's got like the beads of sweat and like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's definitely like, this isn't a super sweaty picture, but you can see a sheen on him a little bit. It's kind of the rugged outdoorsman look. But, Blondie in this movie, I really couldn't find a sweaty picture of him, honestly. And this was as sweaty as I could get, and he doesn't look sweaty at all, really. So
yeah, they made sure they had a fucking a sweat team to come and dab any sort of trace of sweat.
Dab Mr. Eastwood immediately.
Yep. Mr. Eastwood, you're starting to get damp.
I can't look sweaty. Eastwood, don't sweat, boy.
You know what? You know what I just thought about with Sweat is that thing in Total Recall. They're trying to convince him it's a dream.
Yeah.
And his mom.
Oh yeah, the single beat of sweat.
The beat of sweat goes down.
Yeah.
And that was like what Arnold's like. No, this is a lie. What if that dude was just sweaty? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a beat of lie sweat there. You know?
Yeah, the one little beat of up, blow your brains out.
Well,
so, sweating get killed.
It's interesting, Scotty, that you bring up Arnold because he's in our next film that we're going to cover, a film I know that's very close to your heart and a super sweaty film.
That's in the jungle, man. You gotta sweat in the jungle.
Oh,
yeah. Sweat in the jungle. I mean, who are you? You can't be dry in the jungle. Come on.
This dude was super sweaty.
I can't remember what his name was.
Scotty, you remember this dude's name? I know you do.
This dude's name is Bill Duke.
Bill Duke, thank you. And he was.
Wait, is that the name? Is that the name of the actor? Or the name of the character?
The character's name is Mac.
Mac is the character's name, and Bill Duke is his real name. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
He was in Commando too.
Yeah, well-known action character actor. He's in a bunch of shit. Honestly, if you look at his IMDb,
he is,
and he is ultra dodeca sweaty in this film.
Dude, he is He's great in the movie too. I gotta be honest with you. Not even just in terms of like action movie great. Like he actually does a pretty good performance in a movie that's probably not really recognized for that sort of thing.
Agreed.
Like him pining over his dead friend, which maybe there was a little more going on there. I think there was a little bit of at least homoerotic subtext, but whatever.
I mean,
even if you don't agree with that,
like,
he's still.
When I watched it with Amelia, she organically brought that up. She was like, "Was he with that guy?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know." And I hadn't really thought of it that way before. It'd been a while since I'd seen Predator. And I think she's right. I like there's some very kind of like, and like, I understand that maybe they were trying, like, it seems like in the movie that they were trying to go for the, like, hey, we're buddies from way back and we saved each other's lives. And that's why, but like,
right.
He goes a little over the top with the mourning, grieving process, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Or does he play it? Or does he play it just right for someone who's lost their lover? You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I mean.
Like, me and you went up on that battlefield or whatever, and like, the only two of us came out was me. It was another guy. His lover or friend was Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
So it's like, but he does make a speech about it. They went through like this crazy battle, and they were the only two to walk out of it alive. So maybe they had a bond forged through that. Maybe there was something else there.
There was a bond forged somewhere, I guarantee you.
Whatever the nature of their relationship was, it was really fucking
forged in sweat.
Yeah, it was
forged in sweat, man.
It was a
really
sweaty relationship for sure.
Yeah,
here's Arnold. Arnold
is pretty. He schwitzes throughout this whole movie. Everybody does, really. I mean, this movie really. Once again, watching this movie for the first time, even the alien here, you can see the Predator on his forehead.
Look, a fucking sweater, dude. Look at that shit. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you don't get distracted by the blood. Look at this. Yeah, he's fucking sweating.
Yeah, he's sweating for sure.
He's fucked at this point.
This really is a movie about big rippling muscles. Like it really is. Like ultimately, if you had to strip down Predator and explain it in its simplest terms, it's a movie about big rippling muscles.
And let me tell you this: what's a good way to get those big rippling muscles to gleam in that jungle? Little sweat.
You know what I mean?
Let's have the sweat, TJ. You got the pump. You have the sweat, TJ.
It's Arnold. Look at him.
He's pretty sweaty here. You can see the sweat like going down that crease in his pecs and like on his shoulders.
And of course, you can't wear a shirt in the jungle. I mean, at a certain point, you're just too fucking hot. You got to strip down. You got to have a vest on, though.
Definitely got to have a tactical vest without a shirt under it.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Who doesn't do that?
That's the way
to go. Just one thing with this film, though, it'd be teeming with fucking insects. It would literally just everywhere you look would just be teeming with insects and that sort of shit. And the whole movie would be like this: "Get the fuck away from me! Ah, what the fuck is going on? Ah, this predator!" Like that's how it would be. Like I've been to maybe not the jungles of Central America, but going down the swamp in Louisiana is pretty fucking bad. I can't imagine there.
But do you recall the sweatiest buffalo of all? Cenk, the sweaty political commentator, has a fine sheen of sweat. We actually pioneered during the election coverage, the 2020 election coverage that we did, the Cenk Sweat Index. It's a little imperfect now. It didn't correctly predict the outcome, but it definitely predicted the closeness of the race between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And Cenk's sweatiness is legendary to me. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm so obsessed with sweat is because of Cenk Uygur.
Doesn't surprise me.
Oh, dude, the 2016 sweat meter. Oh man, if you had invented that then, Paul. Oh my God, dude.
It was off the charts.
Dude, he was like, sweat was just fucking popping off him as he just yelled and screamed about how the country was doomed.
Yeah, he has this really, and you can tell it's that stress sweat, you know? Oh, and that sweat stinks. Dude, like exertion sweat smells, pretty neutral, but like stress sweat just smells like old cottage cheese coming out of your pores, you know what I mean?
Awesome.
I got a couple more sweaty pictures of
Cenk. Here he is, look at sweaty. Not a very great angle to shoot your face from, either if you're Cenk Uygur.
No, definitely not.
Because it makes it look like the bottom of your face is bigger than the top, which maybe it is, but you should try to shoot that from a different angle.
Do you use the fat girl angle shot?
Yeah, you gotta put the camera up here, shoot down.
The MySpace angles. This was established like 15 years ago, dude. Come on, Cenk. Shoot up. Shoot from like this. Shoot down to yourself.
Here he is working up a sweat.
Getting there.
He's super sweaty here, but he's working one up. You can tell he's getting towards it. I believe this is from the 2016 coverage. This is one of the couches that he would move to have more casual discussions, and they were never casual that night, if you remember the coverage.
Yeah, he had shirts on standby, as my understanding. They had shirts. Shirt!
Cenk needs a shirt. Jimmy Dore, go in there and fill in for Cenk.
Dude, the fucking. I'm just surprised that that he didn't have like a sweat dabber on set. You know.
Yeah, like a little Hispanic lady.
Yeah,
You want?
Oh, Mr. Yoga, you looking no good.
I mean, there's so many ads on TYC content that you could get away with that.
Dude, remember we tried to fucking. They actually kind of like fucked us over on that last election because we kept going there trying to fucking get the sweat meter.
Yeah.
And every time we went, it was a fucking ad. Like every single time. It's like it was 90% ads and like 10% election coverage.
Next election, I'm going to monitor constantly the TYT coverage so that I can time the sweat meter properly, because we were just doing it blind. And when you do that on a Young Turks video, I mean, 90% of it is self-promotion, 10% of it actual coverage. You know what I mean? So we were just playing a game of stacked roulette, just not good. But yeah, that's what I've got for sweaty equals DFF, I guess. A strange episode, but one of my personal fucking, obsessions. I like sweaty shit. Like when people get sweaty.
We've all got our things, man. If you like to see the people sweat, then you like to see them sweat.
I do.
I mean, as far as Cenk is concerned, it's one of the most memorable traits about the motherfucker.
What do you think Cenk sweat smells like, TJ?
I think it smells like pickled shrimp.
Pickled shrimp. Oh, yeah. I think it smells like like that. The whole chicken in the can.
Yeah.
You pull the chicken out and you dump the juice out. I think it smells like that.
Oh, you think it's the juice that the chicken in a can is in? Yeah. That's good. I think you're
Something
right.
Like that.
I can see it.
I don't want to smell Cenk, dude. That's one of those people. It's like you probably wouldn't realize it until you just met him. But you get close to him, you're like, oh my god!
Like,
hey, Cenk, how's it going?
Are they serving brie? Oh wait, that's just Cenk. Oh my god,
When you meet Mr. Yuga, you will not in any way make reference to cheese, especially brie. All right, I won't do that.
And remember, do not.
Handler.
It's okay to make eye contact with Jank, but don't hold eye contact. The buffalo will be upset and he will charge.
He will scatter the challenge to his dominance. You do not want that.
Oh shit, man! We got to do an episode just like dumping on Chank. Because I could do a whole dude. I could do an hour and a half of just literally insulting Chank Uger. Maybe we'll do it.
No substance. Don't even get into anything he's done. Just ripping on.
Just dump on him.
It's like, Jank, what the fuck?
All right, get out of here. We're done. Bye.
Get out.
See ya.
Go sweat somewhere else.
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried.